So I've been hard at work on a new, updated, revised edition of my book, Launch. So this came out in 2014, and I thought it was time to update it. So I've been crunching away in serious deadline mode, and I just sent it off to our publisher, and I'll be hearing back from them in a few weeks, and I'm sure there'll be an editorial process. We'll go back and forth. But the pub date for the new edition is late July. I think it's July 27th. We'll come out with the new version of this book. So this has been, it's been an amazing experience. We've sold hundreds of thousands of these. It's now in 12 languages. In fact, you know, here's some of the other languages here, and here, and here, and here, and here. Lots of different languages. And as you might expect, there's some reviews on Amazon. In fact, as I'm recording this, there are 1,995 reviews on Amazon. That's Amazon in the US. I know there's more reviews on the Canadian version and the UK version. I'm sure other versions of Amazon as well, but 1,995 reviews. And just under 1,500 of those are 5-star reviews. I'm looking over here to look at the reviews. So I think it's 1,448 are 5-star reviews. But in writing this and updating the book, I went to Amazon. As I dove into this process, I went to Amazon because I thought, well, because you know what? The great majority of the reviews are 5-star reviews, but there are also plenty of 1-star reviews. In fact, there's quite a dichotomy between 1-star reviews and 5-star reviews. And so I thought I'd go and take a look at some of the 1-star reviews, just because I'm like, there might be something to be learned here that I can change in the new version of the book, that I can tweak. What obviously those people aren't finding something. So I went and looked at the 1-star. Actually, I just went and looked at the reviews, and I came across this amazing 5-star review that said, it launched me into an 8-figure business. So I'm actually going to read a little bit of this for you. This is from the Budgetnista. It said, 5 years ago, I had an idea for a new business, an online school that taught women how to take their finances and lives to the next level, the Live Richer Academy. And then it's a lengthy review, but basically it goes on to say she was a former preschool teacher, and she has launched again, and now has an 8-figure business. So an 8-figure business means sales of more than $10 million per year. So absolutely ridiculous. She said, launching's not easy. It's a lot of work. What I like about this book is it lays all of the work out step by step. And I'm not here just to tell you about how great this book is, because frankly, don't even buy the book. There's a new edition coming out in a few months. But she said, I don't know Jeff personally. She didn't buy any of my other products or services. She said, I've seen complaints and some reviews of the book as an upsell to his course. It didn't feel like that to me. I've never bought anything else from the author. So anyways, if you want to go to Amazon, you can see her whole review. I actually tracked her down based on like her little whatever at the top of her review. Her name's Tiffany Alish. I got on the phone with her. I had to track her down and talk to her, and had an amazing conversation with her. And I will be doing a case study with her coming soon. It'll be super cool because she's got an amazing story. But the reason for this video that I wanted to talk to you about is that right up above her review, and again, I'm going to read another review for you that this is going to take less time. This review is from Alexandra, and it's a 1-star review. And the title of the review is Zero. That's the title of the review. And it says, useless. I really don't understand the hype about this method or the book. The author does not say anything invaluable and rambles. Zero. So I just thought I was curious because this review is almost directly next to Tiffany's about launching an 8-figure business. And, the thing is I've been in this business for a very long time. Been teaching people how to launch for 15 years, had an online business for 25 years. And I get that I am not everyone's cup of tea. That's the way all business is, that some businesses will appeal to some people and some won't appeal to others. And I'm super, super clear that I'm not going to appeal to everyone. They're going to think I'm not slick enough, or I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I'm the wrong sex, or whatever. Or they just don't resonate with the way I teach. Everyone who's in business has fans and people who aren't fans, and that's okay. I don't need everyone to be fans, and I don't want everyone to be fans. But it got me to thinking, like, how can one person take a book and build a multi-million-dollar business based on that book, and at the same time, someone who bought the book at almost the same time finds the book of absolutely zero value? It's an interesting question, and I could probably expound at length on it, but I'm really curious what you think. What makes the difference between someone who takes something? I think a lot of it has to do with belief. That's my opinion. I think, and frankly, there's a lot of people that are teaching you how to, make money online, how to create a business. And some of them are good, but a lot of them are just pure hype. A lot of it's just BS. A lot of it's not true. So there's a lot of people out there telling you some of the similar things that I tell you. And you probably shouldn't, you definitely shouldn't believe everyone. So I'm sure a lot of people are just looking at this book and it just sounds too good to be true. It can't possibly be true. I don't believe him. I don't believe his method. But I also think they're inherent in a lot of this is the subtext of people might be saying, I don't believe in me. I don't believe it will work for me. And I think when there is that belief, it can be toxic for someone. And I think, I'm rambling a bit here, but what I'm getting at is much of your success. The formula is in this book. My formula, it's not the only formula, but my formula is in the book, and that formula has been used over and over. And I think I've proven it over and over with all the case studies I've released. But I think there are times when you just have to suspend your disbelief. And whether that, if you find something that's proven, then you need to suspend your disbelief, and suspend your disbelief that disbelief is often in yourself. And that can be the toughest belief to overcome, or disbelief to overcome. So just a little philosophy here. It was just struck me reading those two different reviews right next to each other, how disparate they can be. And that's what you got. New book coming out end of July. Looking forward to it. It's going to be cool. And that's what I've got for you. Let's go get them this week.